Alright folks, and we are here at day 19, 31 days of horror, 31 days of Halloween, and once again I'm in daylight. In case you haven't noticed, I tend to do these things in clusters, so I'm all doing them like in one afternoon and spacing them out. It's really complicated. I don't know if I'll do this again next year. I just don't really have the time, unless there's some remarkable technological advent that allows me to upload the stuff instantly, which doesn't exist to the best of my knowledge, I think. So yeah, anyway, nobody cares about that. What is important? We've got a fantastic movie on the docket. We're still in the 1980s this time, the late 1980s, almost on the verge of the 90s. And our offering is Sleepaway Camp 3, which is part of arguably the best slasher trilogy of the 1980s. Think about this movie. Do you need to watch the first two Sleepaway Camp movies to understand what's going on in this one? Ideally, you would watch them. You would watch them all in one sitting, and you'd have a really, really great evening. You'd eat a bunch of pineapple pizza and candy and just enjoy yourself. But if you don't have time, you just want to watch this as a standalone offering, I think it does kind of stand on its own. I mean, it helps kind of knowing the backstory, but you can watch this without knowing what happened in the first two movies and still be, pretty okay. I mean, it doesn't make it, completely, intolerable or incomprehensible experience. Alright, so for the movie, if you're not familiar with the Sleepaway Camp mythos, I mean, it's really great. The first movie had the great twist ending where you find out the person killing everybody at camp is actually a boy who has been shaped to be a girl by his crazy aunt. So he's doing the whole transgender thing way before Caitlyn Jenner. I mean, this movie was way ahead of its time. So then they did the follow-up sequel, which is more of a hardcore, horror parody. I mean, it was definitely making fun of the slasher genre. I mean, I love both the movies, but I think Sleepaway Camp 2 is probably the better movie. I had to pick the two. And anyway, in this one, Angela, or Peter, okay, it's confusing, I know. Okay, Angela, she was born a boy named Peter, but in the second one, she officially has a sex change operation, so she's officially Angela. And she's literally killing everybody at camp in the most, really bizarre ways, and it's terrific. And she is played by Bruce Springsteen's sister. I'm not making that up. That's actually the truth. And she's reprised by Pamela Springsteen for Sleepaway Camp 3, which kind of has the same premise as the last movie, except there's kind of a twist, and this is what makes it kind of entertaining to me. Is that it's not just any old camp. It's a camp designed by a bunch of non-profits as sort of a social experiment where they have kids from the inner city and really preppy suburban kids all hanging out, and they're being watched by this really unprofessional old married couple. And the whole idea is to kind of breed unity and all that jazz. But of course, really all it does is expose the vapidity of the suburban kids and their prejudices, and it shows just how completely uncouth and unrefined all the gangbangers are. So I think that's pretty funny. That's something I didn't pick up on when I watched it as a kid, but watching it now, just seeing how subversive that is and just poking so much fun, some of those liberal policies, I think is really a hoot and a half. Especially if you're like me and you've worked for nonprofits before, then you understand it. So you got that going on, and it's hilarious. And like I said, the thing about these movies is you got Angela. She's a totally normal human being, except for the fact that she kills people. But she kills people because, not because she's necessarily psychotic, but because she has this really bizarre sense of traditionalist morals. So if you go out and you have sex before marriage, you have to die. If you do drugs, you have to die. She has no problem putting a firecracker up your nose and lighting it. She'll do that. She will make you snort drain cleaner and think it's cocaine. She will do that. She will bury you up to your neck in garbage and then run you over with a lawnmower because you're lazy. So I mean, she's very much this weird visualization of the moral majority in a way. I mean, she's basically like Jerry Falwell, the slasher. And like I said, if you haven't seen the first movie, you probably should, but you can watch this as a standalone and enjoy it just as much. So I mean, it's your standard slasher film, but it's very, very tongue-in-cheek. I think personally this movie does a far better job of skewering the slasher genre than Scream ever did. And it's just so much fun. I mean, their lines are great. I mean, it's so 1980s and so early 1990s, it just does such a great job of capturing the just awkwardness pop culturally of that time frame. Like, there's this one part where Angel like does like a rap song to kill a black dude, and you're just going, oh my god, it's like the most not groin, well, it could be groin-inducing. It's like the most groan-inducing thing ever. And there's just so much of that going on. There's so much to enjoy, so much to laugh at, so much to laugh with. It's just a completely fun movie. And you know, like some of these other movies from the 80s, I mean, objectively can't call them great, but when you have just so much fun, when you walk away with a smile on your face from a movie like this, I mean, it's hard to not, you know, praise it and give it really high marks. So in my eyes, Sleepaway Camp 3 is worthy of 3.5 pieces of candy corn out of 4. I think it's good. It's that good. You need to go see it. You need to see all the Sleepaway Camp. Even Return to Sleepaway Camp from like 2008. That's also really, really good too. So go see all these motion pictures. You won't regret it. But if you got time to see Sleepaway Camp 3, you can watch it by itself and still enjoy it. So there you go, Sleepaway Camp 3, and now we're moving into the 1990s. Long considered like the worst decade for horror, but is it really? Well, stay tuned. You might be surprised.